with your Roland Printer Cutter. We're going to start with Illustrator. We're going to go into Photoshop. We're going to pull up some good artwork and show you how to do all the fun stuff with print, cut, contour lines. It's good stuff. So without further ado, let's have some coffee. Let's get started. So first things first, we need to find some art to do our cut contour stuff with. I have a image here on my desktop that I created for my friend's daughter. It's just really the idea of driving her mother insane. I created these fun stickers for her daughter that she can stick on whatever she wants. So that should be a fun house full of stickers on things that she is claiming. But let's open them up and I'm going to show you how I put a cut contour line on this design. So I'm opening it in Illustrator. It was a really easy job to create. If you work in Illustrator or you work in Corel, you know how easy this stuff is. So all I did was essentially I created some images, some shapes, and some text, and I was able to kind of create a fun little official property of sticker. So let me show you how this is the cut contour line. Let me show you how we got this and how this needs to be set so you can actually print and cut within VersaWorks and on your Roland Printer Cutter. So here's my image. Here's the sticker I created. Now I want to send it to the printer and I want this thing to cut out. So the way I do this is a little bit weird, but I personally like this way. I've found this EcoSolvent Printer Cutter image from Roland. This is for dealers, but if you would like this copy, please email me or put a note here in the section on Facebook, in the comment section, and I will email you this. But the way this works is I open this sticker in Illustrator, and then it already has my cut contour line and my perf cut line set. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into here, into my job, whatever I'm working on, and then I'm just going to delete it. And that'll leave the perf cut and that cut contour line in there. So I'll explain to you what these are and how these must look. So the way these look, these are called spot colors. They have to be spot colors for Illustrator to read it. So I'm going to just show you how spot colors created really quick. I'm going to go ahead, here's a fun color. I'm just going to go ahead and drag that into my swatches palette. And if you double click it, you'll see it as a name. That's its RGB code. But we want to label it spot color. And then with cut contour, we want to label it CUT, capital C, capital C. You hear the fire engines back there? There's I live right next to Station 8 here in downtown Denver at Capitol Hill, and they have been running like crazy recently. Love those guys. Anyway, so cut contour is the label, spot color is the name, and when I hit save, it's going to tell me there's already one in use. But that's a good sign. That's really what we want to label this. If it's not labeled correctly, it will not work in Illustrator. So it has to be capital C, or in VersaWorks, it has to be capital C, capital C. And then perf cut's the same way, capital P, capital C, capital C. All right, so anyway, the way this works is, now I want to create an image. I want to create my actual cut contour line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my shape for stroke. I've created my line just by dragging it in here by creating the shape. I want to label it. I want to make this 0.25 points, 0.25 of a point, and that is now going to when we send it to the printer, it's not going to print this yellow line, but that yellow line is going to be read from VersaWorks as the cut line. And if I wanted to, for example, add maybe another line, this one was going to be potentially the perf cut. So the way a perf cut works is it will cut out not only the vinyl, but it'll also cut out the backing. So if I wanted to remove this sticker completely from the vinyl, I could create another line and label it perf cut. See? So now in here I have my perf cut line, which is going to cut out from the backing completely, and then my cut line, which is just going to allow me to cut the vinyl only, and then I can remove the sticker from the backing. As you can see, I have a little bit of extra space here just to give me room to, a little bit of breathing room in the cuts. If I have this maybe a little bit bigger, see, then I have a little bit extra room. So these are all little details, of course, but very simple way to do this. So from here, I would save this as a PDF, and then I can take this into Illustrator or into VersaWorks with my Roland Print Cut and then print and cut. So people also ask me quite a bit, John, how do you do this in Photoshop? So I'm going to show you how we do this in Photoshop. How do we create a raster image and make it a vector print cut file? So here's my buddy's. We created this. Oh, this is the one I just made. Actually, we're going to delete that, and I'm going to show you how to make that. So my buddy has a skateboard brand. I like to help him out and make stuff for him all the time. We made some hats in the past, but I'm going to take this hat image that we had done before, that we had just digitized this for hats, and I'm going to make this a sticker. So I'm going to open this in Photoshop. This is a raster image. It's a PNG. It is not vector. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. I could take this into Illustrator and I could just create this and make this a vector image, but I want to show you how to make this take a raster image and create a vector background so you can then print cut. So I'm just going to change my canvas size for a little bit of breathing room. Okay. Now, when I select this image, we notice it has a nice transparent background. I want to select this image by hitting Command, clicking on the icon, and that'll create my marching ants. That'll create my marquee. I'm going to then add another layer, and then under Select, Modify, Expand, I'm going to make that selection just a little bit bigger by 10 points. And I know 10 points is what I want to do because I want to show you how this works. So then I can fill that layer by clicking on this layer. I hit Command Delete, and then that'll fill the background. I'm working on a Mac, for those of you who use quick keys. Now notice there was some sections that weren't filled. So these sections where there's marching ants, if I were to take this over into Illustrator, these open spaces would actually, I put my cut contour line around there, it would actually cut these areas out, which we don't want to do. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to take my brush tool, and I'm just going to fill in that area with the same color. Doesn't matter really, but I'm going to fill in that area, and that way we're guaranteed to not have any extra areas that are going to cut. So here's basically what it looks like. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it into Photoshop. So I'm going to start into Illustrator. I'm going to create a new file. 8.5 by 11 is fine. One thing that I like to do is make sure that we are working in RGB, okay? Because the printer reads RGB considerably better than it does CMYK. You get more of those color values. So I'm going to select this again, make sure I've got it selected, and then I'm going to copy it. I'm going to take it into Illustrator, and I'm going to paste it in. So here it is. Now we're getting there, right? So I have an image, and I need to be able to add a stroke around it so I can add this cut contour line, right? So I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna post them in there, but I need to add that line around here, right? So I'm gonna select it, I'm gonna trace it. It's gonna create, now it's created a vector image. I'm gonna expand that, and as soon as I do, you can see that we have finally in here, oops, sorry, we have in here our vector pieces, our paths. So you notice the paths here. So now I need to separate these two colors, so I can ungroup it, Shift Command G, and then I can take away my white. There's another way to get rid of your white. You can go to Select. You can select the color you want to delete. In this case, we have white selected, as noticed here. If I select the black, but here we're going to select the white, and I'm going to go to Select, Same, Fill Color, and then Delete. Okay. So now I need to create that path. So I'm going to grab my sticker with all of my presets in it. I'm going to take it in here. I know this is a weird way to do it, but I like it because I know that it works every single time. You can certainly save these and create. You can download these images or these spot colors with cut contours. But I like doing it the goofy way. So anyway, select my cut contour, reduce it to 0.25. Okay, now I have a perfect perfect imprint of my image. I go back into Photoshop, and I'm going to select this. Again, Command, select the thumbnail, copy, take it into Illustrator, paste it. Now, you notice how where I'm moving it, it's close, but I want it to be right in the center, and you notice when I hit the center mark, it lets us know. So now I'm perfectly set in the center there. I can lock this, and then I'm going to turn this background to actually white. And now you'll notice this is a little bit different because we don't have any, we don't need to have any extra bleed because vinyl is white. And so if there's any variation in the cut registration, we're not going to see it on this. So this is basically ready to go. The last thing I need to do is rasterize object, rasterize that image, and I'm going to do that with a transparent background. If I do it with a white background, you'll notice the whole thing becomes white, which we don't want. So I'm going to do it with a transparent background, which is ideal when we're working with these type of things. We want to try to work with transparent backgrounds for the most part. Now we have our image. This is going to print color, and then it's going to print that cut contour. It's going to cut that right around that contour of that image. So now I can save this as a PNG, and the way I do that is just Shift Command S. Save that as a PNG. I'm going to save it as NID sticker. Save it to my desktop or wherever the heck you want. And it's really that simple. I'm going to go print some of these for my buddy here in a little bit. So thanks for watching how to do print cut stuff in VersaWorks or in Illustrator for transfer into VersaWorks on your Roland Printer Cutter. If you have more questions on this stuff, give me a call. I know it's a weird way that I went about doing it, but it works really well. So if you find that you have a better way, please share. But either way, that's how simple it can be, and we'll see you later in the month. We got a lot of more digital